Hello again, everybody. Welcome back to this episode of Semi-Pro. And on today's episode, we watch a Ninja Turtles knockoff movie called Warriors of Virtue, and we're going to be back to talk about it here in just a second. All right, welcome to the first episode of Semi-Pro that is on video if you're watching on YouTube. And it's for this movie.
Yeah, it's
for
fitting.
Warriors
It's for
of
Silent
Virtue.
Night, Deadly Night too.
Yeah. Yeah, because we both wearing the Silent Night, Deadly Night Part 2 sweaters. Yeah. So we watched.
Josh also has it on. You just can't see his camera.
Well,
Josh is also
you can see Josh's camera.
Yeah, no, you can see it. You can see he's that's what Josh is doing
like
currently.
Yeah, so we watched a movie called Warriors of Virtue, which none of us prior to watching this had ever seen before, and we're all somewhat pleasantly surprised by.
I'd say so. I'd say very pleasantly surprised. Quite present.
I was very present during the film. This
well, not that, but
I was definitely not present. I did not watch.
This film was quite the gift.
Yeah.
Quite the present.
Yeah. We kind of skipped the part because some stuff messed up with the recording where we talk about our predictions and whatnot. But yeah, I liked it. I liked this.
Yeah, no, this was very fun. It was great stunt work.
Fantastic.
Very good, almost too good animatronic prop kangaroo peoples.
Uncanny Valley type.
Uncanny Valley.
Valley kangaroos.
Fantastic production. The movie looked
the sets
beautiful.
Look great.
Yeah.
The costumes looked wonderful. It was shot very well.
That was on video, Daniel.
No.
Everything on a technical level looked really, really good.
It did. And the plot was okay.
The plot was there.
Yeah, it was. It was about what I expected, if not a little more, I guess. It was, I don't know.
Yeah. The plot is what I expected from this movie. The rest of the stuff is what elevated it beyond what I expected. Because I didn't expect great things, simply because I had never heard of it. That was my biggest thing, is like, I've never heard of this movie, and I feel like I would have heard of it if there were anything of note. And plot-wise, there wasn't. But we'll get into that in just a second. Let's talk positives first. We already talked about the animatronics and the costume design. It was fantastic across the board. Set design was great. There was a really
production
cool
in general
swamp.
was really good.
There was a really cool swamp at the beginning that was awesome. The villain's lair was awesome. The little town where the Ruse, as they're called, live was awesome.
One of the Ruse had a little shield that looked like a hat that also looked like a turtle shell on his back, because he's a title and a trench coat.
I did a little counter of every time there was a knockoff Turtles thing, and
this
is
100% accurate, not biased.
Yeah, it was 9 times that there was a direct Turtles knockoff. Like one of the kangaroos is like a turtle. The villains look like Master Shredder. The guy is directly Splinter. Like all of those different things. So that happened. And that was fun. The stunt work, the fight choreography was great. It felt like an anime, but also like a 90s action movie mixed with an anime.
That's what it felt like. Yeah, it felt like a 90s like samurai ninja movie.
Power Rangers with a budget.
Yeah,
Power Rangers with a budget is a great way to put it, Josh.
And it also felt a bit like sort of like the Jackie Chan movies from the mid-90s.
Yeah.
Where, there's a lot of smoke and a lot of people doing cool stunts and flips and punches and kicks.
Big flips, big kicks.
Big flips, big kicks with wire works. Yeah.
Lots of wires.
Yes.
Which you don't see a ton anymore, which is nice.
Right.
It's
kind of
like
it's nice
that's
that's
one of the things I was thinking about when we were watching this is, the wire work, it's not, I wouldn't say it's obvious wire work. You can't see the wires, but you know what it is. But it was refreshing because for the last like 10 years since we invented CG, there's really no need for wire works
10 years
anymore.
ago when CGI was invented.
CGI invented for Avatar 1. Fun fact. Then
which was actually
more than 10 years ago. Yeah.
It was like 12. Close enough. But like because of that, you don't really see a lot of wire works nowadays because they can just make a CG model and throw everything at that.
A lot or any, because you see none.
You see some, like they usually do it and then they CGI over it, but there is some like there's some wire works in there sometimes.
There was only one super obvious stunt double in the movie, but we'll get to that when we do the plot breakdown. But yeah, a lot of overwhelmingly positive stuff, and we'll kind of get to the negative towards the end.
It is.
The whole movie felt overwhelmingly positive, if I'm being honest.
Right. It is miles better than Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles 2: Secret of the Ooze.
Yeah, that's what we I think initially compared it to in the recording that was lost.
It's definitely
in the lost footage.
It's definitely way more interesting.
I'd go as far as say that it's better than Turtles 3, Turtles in Time.
I would put it. I said that about halfway through, and I think it's on par. It's better at times, but it's also worse at times.
But the lows are lower. That's been a recurring theme in this whole franchise is that the highs
this franchise of
the franchise of the
90s Ninja Turtles movies,
Turtles 2 Secret of the Ooze, and Turtles 3 Turtles in Time, and then Warriors of Virtue.
Turtles 4 Warriors of Virtue. I don't know that I had as good of a time watching it as I did Turtles 3, but it may have still been better.
Yeah, well, I think I only didn't because it wasn't the Ninja Turtles, and I'm like a little kid that likes the Ninja Turtles.
Yeah, that's where I'm at. If this was a Ninja Turtles movie, it would be the coolest Ninja Turtles movie ever.
Absolutely, yeah.
But it wasn't. So
it's a shame that this movie
Kung Fu
wasn't
Kangaroos.
It's a shame this
movie. It was the Kung Kangaroos. The Kung Roos.
The Kung Roos, yeah.
Oh, I get it.
I just pieced that together in my brain, honestly, if I'm being honest. All right, so Josh, Josh, why don't you break down the plot for us?
Oh no, what a shame! I've lost all of my details about the plot of the movie.
There were 9 Ninja Turtles references.
It all starts out in the real world where we follow
the
real world. We follow the morning of a young boy named Ryan, who he's on the toilet and his dog drops him a piece of toast through the window.
Yeah, old slobbery ass toast.
He eats the toast that is covered with dog slobber while on the toilet, and he then goes to a Chinese restaurant. Does he live near the Chinese restaurant? Is that like a thing?
I mean, it's in town.
I don't know.
Sure.
He goes to a Chinese
nearby,
restaurant,
I guess,
and he watches the single most cracked cooking scene I've ever seen.
That dude is so cool. He made cooking look freaking epic. He was whipping up some egg fry rice.
Yes,
crazy.
Dude.
He was watching some shrimp fry this rice.
The only thing he missed was there was no soy sauce in the fried rice.
Yeah.
But other than that, it looked good. But watching him cook it was the coolest thing ever, and it also inspired Sam Raimi's Spider-Man.
I think that
doesn't come till later.
My fault. I jumped the gun.
It's a guy named Ming who runs the restaurant, and he's like doing flips, and he roundhouse kicks a tap to turn some water on. He's like slamming a fish onto counters like it's nunchucks. It looks so sick. And he not once but like 3 times throws rice behind him onto a plate that he can't see, and it's done in one shot, so I have to believe that's somewhat legit too.
Yeah, no, he really did that, I think.
Yeah, I mean, it was definitely done in several takes, but it was
it wasn't their first try, but it's him, and he's doing it legitimately. Right. And he can tell Ryan's like on the stairs down way to the kitchen, and he goes, "Hey Ryan, 2 steps to your left," and then he throws him some rice into his bowl without looking. It's so
crazy. For free.
For free. I wish I could have gotten Chinese for free.
Yeah. I wish I was Ryan.
Yeah. I wish I was a Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle.
Yeah, you are. You're Raphael.
Yeah,
this is also when Ming starts talking to him about a legendary place called Tao. which
should be pronounced Tao.
Yeah, it should be pronounced Tao. Yeah,
but everyone in the movies other than Ming
they all say Tao. Yeah.
And he says it's a world without a lot of stuff.
Does Ming say it as Tao? I don't. Did he even say it?
I don't think he said it.
It's Tao.
Yeah. I think you're imagining that.
Yeah, I think you're making that up.
But
yeah,
he
had an accent at first, and then it dropped.
Right. He does say that it's a world without morphine.
Yeah, that is true. He did specifically say,
which is a very odd thing to shout out.
That's not what he said. He said morphing.
He did. No, he said morphine.
Because I was watching the captions.
No, he said morphing, and then we joked about.
Am I gonna have to?
No, I think the caption said morphing, but he said morphine.
Am I gonna have to pull it back up?
No, I don't care enough. But why would he say morphing and not?
Why would he say morphine?
Because it's a drug. That's a bad thing. Like
no, he said morphing. It's a bad.
What does that mean?
He said morphing, like Mighty Morphin Power Rangers.
Right. It doesn't make sense. I'm not saying it makes sense.
It still doesn't make any sense. He says it's like a world without danger or something.
I think he was a morphine addict, and he
he
really
had something on his mind.
I think he was fighting some demons. I think whoever made this. The same guy that made Bride of Chucky was fighting some demons.
And Freddy
versus Jason. Yeah,
that part is almost definitely true.
So from this though, Ryan heads off. He heads to school, and he watches his local team play football. And this is when we learn that Ryan has a leg brace.
They make fun of him for
his severe disability.
He goes up to them while they're in a team huddle, and he goes, "Hey, what if you you should like duck to the left because they're all going to go to the right or something like that." And instead of being
he gives them good advice. He gives them a good play, and they spit on him and call him a gimp.
Instead of being like, "Okay, thanks, man," like just humoring him, even if you're not going to do it, just say, "Oh, thanks, dude," and then you leave him be. The main guy spits on his feet and then goes gimp and then walks off.
Yeah,
and then ends up using his play to get a touchdown. And then just like riding off into the sunset. Not before Ryan talks to his best friend, Chucky, who dresses like a 50-year-old man.
He dripping.
Right.
he had a little bit of drip. So him and Ryan, they make their way home. They start their walk back to the house. And the guy who spit on him earlier, along with his little posse, ride by them on bikes. And Chucky says, "Did you say something or did you fart?" A very hard line.
Best line from the whole movie. They're riding by, and the kid says something, and then the dude just squeals his bike tires. He goes, "You say something or did you fart?" It's so great, dude.
And this guy is like the worst actor ever too. Like he cannot deliver so line, bad, but he delivers that one perfectly in the worst way possible.
He acts like he's never spoken to a human being before.
I think the "did you say something or did you fart" guy is not the main bad guy.
Was it not?
I think he's like his crony.
I think that was like his buddy or something. But Chucky's like, "Hey, you stole everything from Ryan. Like you took his advice and then didn't credit him." And the main bully, whose name I don't even know, is like
guy who looks like
Will Poulter.
Yeah.
Eyebrows kid.
AKA Joshua
Clements. He's a big man.
Right.
He's like, "Oh, do you guys want to hang out with us? Well, meet us by the Aurora Tunnel at midnight."
He doesn't say it quite like that.
No, it wasn't. It was more like, "Hey, would you guys like to hang out with us later? Meet us."
It was like "You guys want to hang out at the Aurora Tunnel later?" It's like something like that.
That was pretty good, actually. I like that. I like it a lot.
It's some of the worst acting I've ever seen.
It's bad. Like genuinely.
It's not great. It's not good. It's nothing.
It's not even remotely good.
Yeah.
But this is. They say, sure.
Maybe that was his dad.
We'll meet you. We'll meet you at this tunnel, and then they'll ride off. Ryan heads back home. Not before stopping off at Ming's. And this is when we find out that this movie directly inspired Sam Raimi.
No.
Yeah.
This is when his mom makes him the lasagna from the microwave.
After.
No.
Yeah,
shut up.
He's right.
So his mom makes him microwave lasagna, and it does not. It looks okay, but his mom doesn't think it looks edible. So he gives him money.
It's meant to look inedible. He puts the fork in it, and it's like hard. It's like
it's like
no, it
solid.
looks fine. It's just the sound effects they played over it make it.
Well,
sound bad.
but it looked like a little burnt kind of.
But you could still.
I would have fucked it up. Still, for sure.
So she gives him Ming money, and then that's when he goes to Ming's.
Right, he goes to Ming's, and there's an old cranky Chinese dude there who's like walking around the kitchen trying to carry all these plates, and he keeps bumping into Ryan, and he yells at him, and he's like, "Oh, I'm sorry, man," and then he slips. All the plates and all the stuff goes up in the air and that's when Ming runs to the rescue and catches them all, and he catches everything on the plates, and it's so cracked and it looks so good, and Sam Raimi stole it for Spider-Man.
It looks at least as good as it looked in Spider-Man.
I would say that it looks better.
Say a bit better.
Maybe.
No, because this is your Spider-Man bias showing through, Dalton.
Yeah, absolutely.
Because I mean,
when Ming catches them, you can see everything on the plates is like rolling around, and he balances back out.
But also, this is mostly for people watching on YouTube. He caught one of them, flipped it, and caught it like that.
That was cool.
And then brought it back around.
That part was cool.
And it's so sick. And Ming, I just wish there was more Ming. I wish he was the hero of this story.
I really do.
Ming
that's the part that doesn't make sense. Maybe Ming was one of the warriors and you just couldn't see it through his makeup. Or maybe he was supposed to be. I don't, because the whole thing is a dream, and we'll get to that at the end.
Well,
it's not though.
It definitely is. Without a doubt,
it kind of is, but it's not.
He starts telling his dog the legend.
It is in the way that anything that it it could. It was all
never-ending
just a dream.
story is.
Yeah.
Which the never-ending story was a dream.
It wasn't a dream. Nah, it wasn't. That was real.
It's a dream in the same way The Wizard of Oz is a dream, where a kid might as well have woke up in his bed and said, "Wow, that was a weird dream."
No, he said it was real because to his friend, he said, "We got a lot to talk about."
Yeah, because he's a psychopath and he thinks it's real, but it's actually a dream.
No.
It's real. But this is
real. I choose to believe. I'm sorry. I choose to have faith.
I choose to have my childhood.
It's a little something called faith, Dalton. You might want to look it up.
Dalton, I believe in the ruse.
I believe in the ruse. I believe in the Kung ruse.
I believe in the Riz. All right, continue with the plot.
While
the whole thing.
Ming shows him his bedroom, which is how you know that it's a 90s movie.
It's just a dream. You need to wake up. It's all just a dream.
It's all a dream. Wake up.
Are you two done yet?
Wake up. It's a dream. Run. All right,
Fingers
so
on
Josh,
lips,
break down the plot.
Hands on hips.
Come on, hurry up, man.
Come on.
Come on.
Ming shows him his bedroom, and this is where he gives him the legendary Book of Tao.
Which is how you can tell this is a 90s movie, because
and
there's a little kid
in
a grown man's bedroom, and it's not concerning at all.
This is when we notice his accent disappeared.
At some point in the first 15 minutes of this movie, his accent has disappeared.
Yeah.
He acclimatized to the American way.
Right, yeah. The accent was just for show.
Can't say
that. But he lived there for long enough that he developed an American accent.
Keep going.
He gives Ryan a cockroach that he found, and he's like, it's a cocoon. It's a cocoon. And I found it once, and it was dead.
It was a little, it was in a jar. It was a little jar with some sand and rocks and a little black cocoon, little black ball.
Yeah, and he tells the story. He's like, I found it, and it was dead. And so
I found it, and I killed it, and now I felt bad, so I put it in a jar.
And he gives him the legendary book.
He's like, "Okay, man."
And he's like, "This book will teach you how to have all the virtues you need to survive in life.
All the virtues,
even with your leg brace, which I know you're ashamed of, you'll still be able to do everything you ever want."
I don't think he was ashamed of it. I think he was just sad he couldn't play football.
Yeah, I think it was much more that than that he was ashamed.
Yeah, I don't think any part of him was ashamed of being physically disabled.
Well, that's why he gives him the virtues, so that he knows that he believes in himself, and he knows that he can do anything no matter what.
Right.
And he goes,
as long as he's in a magic universe where
correct.
He's like,
and he goes, I don't need any more self-help books, and just storms off. Goes back.
Right.
Right. But he does take the book. Well, I think
He does.
dude slips it in his backpack.
He puts it in the backpack.
Yeah.
And he just walks off. He ends up going to the tunnel with the bad kids.
With the bully,
Right.
And they take them into the sewer.
With Josh.
Which is where Ninja Turtle reference to.
Yes. Well, I mean more than 2 at this point.
It
could have been 1. I don't know.
It very well could have been the first one.
It might have been. There's a good chance it is.
There's a very good chance it's the first one. But they
the only
from
one.
From this tunnel, they go into the sewers, and Ryan gets forced by lead bully to cross like a tube over a swirling vortex of water.
It's a little pipe.
Yeah, it's pretty. It's pretty.
And
cool
he's like, hey, spray your tag, and it's just like a load of names on this wall that's on the opposite side. And so Ryan doesn't want to do it because you wouldn't. It's a health and safety.
I wouldn't want to do that myself with
correct because it is a way to get
want to
murdered.
do it in his situation.
Yeah, I have 2 working legs, and I would not want to do that.
Right. The bully goes, no, I got this, and then he does it. He gets to the other side, and he taunts Ryan. And he's like, hey, get over here! Come on, do it.
Yeah, he's like, what are you, a bitch? What are you, stupid?
And then he looks at the pipe and he says, it can take a dump whenever it wants.
Yeah,
and we're sitting here talking, and I said, I wonder if that's a setup. And then the pipe cuts on. As we're saying it.
As Dalton's saying, like, is that a setup for something?
I guess it was a setup. It was just a setup for then and there.
It's a pipe that directly overlooks where Ryan is. Like, that exact spot on the pipe that he's crossing. And it happens within...
Genuinely, greatest movie
15 seconds of the kid saying that it takes a dump sometimes.
It's also funny because he calls it taking a dump. And
that part was funny.
So a lot of water shoots out of there and knocks Ryan into the swirling vortex, meaning this bully has just killed a small child.
Correct. That's the thing. He's like running around.
He's like, oh no.
Yeah, and but he's dead. Like you just killed this kid.
Yeah,
this kid is drowning.
But he woke up in a swamp.
Right. Ryan goes through this mysterious portal, and he ends up in this swampland, the land of Tao.
It's pronounced
which
Tao.
Is right. Ryan gets hit by the dookie into the other world is what I wrote in my notes.
That's good. I'm glad someone took notes.
You did not take notes.
No, I believe Josh took notes. Otherwise, he wouldn't remember anything.
No, he has the plot written on his computer and that he Googled it.
Yeah. Right. That's notes.
This is as soon as he comes out of the water in the swamp, Ryan is immediately attacked by the knot foot. They're not the hand, but they're not the foot.
Right.
They're ninjas.
Say that sentence for me one more time, slowly, so I can try and understand what you said.
Ryan gets out of the water in the swamp.
They're not the hand, but they're not the foot? Or did you say they're not the hand, but they're not the not foot?
Yeah. It doesn't matter. Whatever Josh said probably isn't what he meant, and whatever he meant probably didn't make sense. But the idea is there.
They're not the hand, they're not the foot, but they're the rip-off version of both.
Correct.
Yeah, well,
okay,
they're
cool.
the same. The hand and the foot are the same because Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles and Daredevil take place in the same universe. They're the same.
But this is when we see the wire work go crazy because they get attacked by a monster that we can't see, other than his eyes, his blood red eyes that just stare at them all.
His eyes,
and he's got an ear. You can see his ear.
You can see some ears, and he's like he's jumping around
and his tail.
They're going flying all over the place. Ryan gets hit, and
this video podcast thing is going to take some getting used to.
What are you talking about?
I was wondering why you decided to do that when I know what you two were like.
What do you mean? What are you talking about?
Yeah, watch yourself. And then Ryan's backpack gets kicked off him at one point. His backpack containing the Book of Tao, along with a load of other
It's pronounced Tao.
It's pronounced Tao.
And then so Ryan makes a break for it and starts running from the giant kangaroo man that he's seen.
Right.
And
I mean,
why wouldn't he? Yeah.
And I think this is when he realizes that he can run.
Yeah. No. That's when he first gets there.
First he gets tripped over by the midget from Twin Peaks.
You can't call them that.
The dwarf from Twin Peaks.
Thank you.
He gets tripped over by the dwarf from Twin Peaks who he tries to steal something from him, doesn't he?
You can't call him that either, Josh.
Okay. Well, what's the name then?
Little people.
Okay. He gets tripped over by the demon from Twin Peaks. That's the role he played. He played a demon. He played a demon in the Black Lodge in Twin Peaks. That's all I'm referencing.
Just keep going. Just keep it rolling, Josh.
I'm trying to figure out where he goes from there because I think he gets. I think Michael J. Anderson, who plays Mudlap, which is the guy who trips over Ryan.
Mudlap, the little
he
the
gets,
little person from Twin Peaks.
The little guy from Twin Peaks with the suit and tie, and he's got his
one
backwards.
You drugs like this.
He gets scared off by Alicia, who's like a Galadriel type of character.
I forgot about her.
Yeah, she's very princess kind of.
She's a little white angel fairy lady.
Yeah, and
she got that statutory riz.
Yeah, and he gets pulled back to the land of I guess the city of Tao.
Right,
it's Tao. One of the
Tao
good springs or whatever.
It's one of the life springs,
Life
springs
is their name for it.
Yeah, which we don't know what they are. They're full of unobtainium.
No, it's Validium.
Validium, sure, but whatever they're full of,
they're full of Valium.
They're full of shit.
Essentially, that material works as an anti-aging agent, and the bad guy of this movie is consuming
Komodo.
it to keep himself. Yeah, Komodo, like the dragon, is consuming it to keep himself.
I thought it was kimono, like the wear.
I thought it was Komodo because the way I kept remembering it was Komodo dragon, but it very well could have been Kimono.
There's a good chance I don't remember anything that happened.
I think it was Komodo.
But yeah, Ryan gets pulled back to this.
Ryan Unicomb comes back to this imaginary land,
and he starts speaking to Master Chung, who's the Splinter.
Who is Master Splinter? Right. We're only going to call him Splinter throughout the rest of this discussion.
This is when Splinter tells Ryan why everyone wants the Book of Tao, because apparently they need that to stop their evil ruler Komodo from taking over the entire land, because he wants the life spring so that he can stay immortal and stay young and stay healthy and continue being an evil ruler. They want to stop him from doing that because it drains the land, and it's all
it's a 90s deforestation plot, but just masked with fantasy
stuff. This is also when Master Splinter tells us about the turtles of this universe.
Correct.
There are 5 of them. There is Lai, who is the virtue of order and is meticulous, and he has a giant wooden stick. There is Sun.
That's Donatello.
Right.
Yeah. Correct. There's Sun, who is the virtue of loyalty, who is kind and nursing, and just so happens to be a woman kangaroo.
Correct. A woman guru.
That's the one from
kangaroo. That's the one from Next Mutation with the braid.
Right. There. Then there is Chi, who is he's high wisdom, but also a pyromaniac, and just starts shooting fire into.
He's the Leonardo of the group.
No, I think that's Michelangelo.
Was that the red one or was that the silver one?
That was the red one.
Never mind. I lied. That's
Michelangelo. So the silver one is Yi, who is righteousness, and he doesn't speak.
Yeah, that's me. Bro, think you're righteous.
They throw off a line about
righteous.
Righteous.
I think they throw a line out about
I've always been a fan of Cowabunga.
He won't speak until all is right in the world, something like that.
He won't speak until he's corrected his mistake.
No, that's the other one,
yeah, you're right. That's the never mind. I lied.
That's when we learn about the leader, Yun, who has exiled himself because he
I think the one who doesn't speak is the leader. The other one just exiled himself.
No.
Because Splinter says
because we know. It said he was the leader. It said he was the leader.
No, because
go back.
I will pull it up right now.
On the recording now.
They're talking in the discussion, and we were talking whether the leader was Splinter or if the other dude was Splinter, because they call him the leader. And so I was like, well, maybe since he's the leader, he's Splinter. But no, turns out He's not Splinter. Other dude is Splinter, and he's Leonardo. But it was the silver one who doesn't speak. He's the wise leader one.
He's not the leader. It's
specifically
said.
All right, hold on. I'm pausing the recording. I'm pausing. We were all saying the same thing. I don't understand.
Disagreeing with us.
I'll be sure
disagreeing with us.
No.
All right, start the fucking recording.
I already did.
You're a dick.
Yeah. You're a dick. Dalton was wrong. It was Yun. Yun is the leader.
No.
He's exiled himself because he's
Yun is the leader. Despite that, he is all.
No.
He's exiled himself because he killed a man. That's it.
He killed a man that happened to be Elysium's brother.
Right.
Correct.
We don't know.
We don't know that yet. Spoilers. My fault.
We just know that Elysium had a brother that
died.
Well,
although
I don't know that yet.
We don't know that yet, but that happens.
Well, we find
that's
out,
like the next thing.
Yeah, the next scene is
out.
her talking to Ryan, and she says, "You remind me of my brother. My brother died in this giant war that's been going on." During this time, Ryan gets kidnapped and like taken away, where they just so happen to encounter.
Yeah, it was the little guy.
No, that's later.
Was it?
Yeah.
I thought the little guy was what led to his capture.
No, that's the third time. He gets kidnapped 3 times and saved 3 times to be brought back.
Is this the first time?
This is the first time. He gets kidnapped by the 2 bald guys and the Chinese lady.
We've established I don't know what happens in this movie, but I think Daniel's right, unless Josh has the plot pulled up, in which case I agree with Josh.
I'm gonna trust Josh because I assume he's just
we see the scene of the bad guy's lair where he drops a guy through a death trap, and then he goes, "You guys need to go get me this boy."
Right, but they use little man to get the boy.
Yeah,
because he comes in with the and he comes.
Oh
in
no!
And he
when little guy tries to get him, he doesn't. Right? He gives him to the guy, and then Splinter stops him with what we thought.
No. Josh is completely right. Yeah, because they grab him while she's telling her story, and then but they don't actually get him.
And then they run off, and they run into Yun, who's out in the woods.
Right.
And then he beats all of them up. Ryan yells at him and goes, "Hey, you need to help me." He jumps off. Ryan yells again, "You need to help me." And he goes, "Oh yeah, you're right, mate. Sorry, my bad."
It's like
then just jumps back.
It's the quickest character development since Anakin Skywalker, and like it's like that, like snap of a finger, quick. He's like, "I will not help you." Because that's how they talk in this movie, and then he's like, "I will help you," and then it's like, and then they hop away.
He just like gestures to jump on his back, and then they hop.
Yeah, it's legitimately. They spend a while setting up that Yun has exiled himself. He doesn't want to come back. He doesn't want to help.
Admittedly, not that I agree with Dalton's assessment, but this does feel like a dream, and that is what we all said. Well.
It does feel like a dream.
It feels like.
Well, we said it while we were watching because I had a glitch in the stream that we were watching it on, which that's what your faces on it.
You said it.
I agree with that.
No, I also agree with it because this movie does feel very dreamlike. Yeah. Like it feels like something I would imagine in my head, just put. To, it also feels like something that it feels like a Mandela effect.
It also, it
like
feels
this
like
this is the kind of movie that like somebody posts on Reddit and they're like, "Hey, you remember the movie with the karate kangaroos?" And I can remember this movie in my head despite the fact that it doesn't exist.
Yeah,
that's how this movie felt.
Right.
This whole, like I say, this movie is what inspires Mandela Effect. People would watch this and then they think, "Oh, do you remember that scene in Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles where like they rescue that kid from the foot?" And do
you remember the fourth Ninja Turtles movie where there's a little kid who travels through the sewer? Like,
so Kun very quickly decides that maybe he, maybe his exile's over. He comes back and he agrees to go grab the book and help Ryan get home because the only way Ryan can get back is through the book.
He's the kangaroo. I'm sorry, I forget their names.
Chung-Ru.
Right, he's the ruse. They call them the ruse in this.
They call them the ruse, which feels like a slur.
It does, but they took Kung and Kangaroo and they're Kung-Rus because they're the thing they got like their chi force.
Their chi is Kung. So they're ruse that practice Kung.
There's a lot of phrases in this movie that just feel wrong.
They should have called it Kang. If they wanted it to make sense, why wouldn't they have called it Kang?
Kung Fu, because it's like
I get why they call it Kung.
Because they want it to be like they're Kung Fu kangaroos.
Right. But this is
without making like
this is kangaroos. Also the next scene.
It's fine. It's whatever. It's cool. It's cool. It's fine, and it's cool.
Doesn't matter.
The next scene is when we find out that Komodo wants to escape to the real world because they're running out of life. What are they called? Life springs for him to survive in this springs,
one. The Fallout town.
Right. And
once he's out, apparently, it's not just that he will get old, but he will straight up die without the drug.
Right. Yeah. This is also when we find out that the Elysium princess is on his side and evil.
Right.
Which kind of like comes out of nowhere because you've only had 2 scenes with her.
Yeah, right. She's not
never really established her as anything. She was just kind of there.
Yeah, she's like it's like if you found out April O'Neil worked for the Foot Clan after the turtles met her for the first time.
After the first like saving her from mugging or whatever.
Which they do with April's cameraman in Turtles 2, but that's besides the point.
But Turtles 2 is a worse movie. I don't care for it.
What?
I can't. I think she works with the bad guy because she's mad that Kun killed her brother. Like that's her motivation, is that she wants revenge.
I don't know that she has a motivation. I think her brother was killed because they were both working with the bad guy.
No, I think that's part of her motivation, though. That's at least part of her reasoning for dislike, because she doesn't seem to be fully evil.
She has doubts.
Yeah,
she does
save kid at the end. Spoiler, but
yeah.
Right. All right, let's
then we find out that Ryan gets kidnapped again.
Ryan,
this is when he gets kidnapped by the guy from Twin Peaks.
Right, Twin Peaks guy. Yeah.
And he gets handed off. He gets handed off to. He gets handed off to one of Komodo's henchmen, who takes him about 5 steps, and then Splinter like pokes him in the chest and goes, "Get out of here, you rascal!" And takes Ryan back.
Yeah, he calls him that. He says,
"He says you little scrumbly rascal."
He says, "You little mighty morphin munchkin," and he smacks him around.
Yeah, and then he's just like, "Hey, be a good guy." And then he just walks off with Ryan back to the city.
Yeah.
They just repeat the scene that they had earlier where they rushed someone's character development and get Ryan back to the city after being kidnapped.
That one was at least more of a slow burn, kind of, and had no payoff whatsoever.
That one had no payoff whatsoever.
It was after the villain died or exploded or whatever. Spoilers, who cares?
Then, while this is happening, the kangaroos go to get the book from Komodo, so they have to break into his lair, and they get strung up. They get chained up and hung above his little death trap circle hole thing.
They get captured, and then there's a whole speech thing. It's so weird because they just let them go, and then on purpose they get captured and get a speech, and then they get let go.
They don't let them go. They drop them into the what's meant to be a death trap.
Yeah, they drop them in the pit,
they catch and they're holding on to each other's tails. And
one of them puts his thing on the thing, and then it stops.
He catches onto a knife. He catches onto a knife with a little rope thing, and he's hanging them all up. Then the pyromaniac one sets his finger on fire and gives him a little light. And they look down, and it's like a cone where there's spikes on every single wall. Mm-hmm. And there's a giant spinning fan at the very bottom, and then a giant fire below that. It's the most elaborate
a door conveniently.
One single hole next to the fan,
which doesn't make any sense at all. But
it's ventilation, man.
It's a ventilation.
Have you ever designed a death trap like that?
Yeah, who's your death trap guy, Dalton?
Yeah, you don't fucking. What do you know?
I don't have a death trap.
You don't know nothing.
Guy.
Yeah,
but that's what I thought. They throw one of the roos has a hula hoop that he carries around.
You can't
the silent one. The silent one, and he throws it.
No, the silent one doesn't have the silent one has swords.
It does. No, he doesn't.
No, it's the outcast leader one. It's the dude.
We just watched the clip.
No, shut up.
I will pull it up again because this time I'm actually confident. The one with the hula hoop.
You're so wrong again.
The one with the hula hoop is the silver silent one.
No, it's the quiet.
Yes, that's what we were saying.
Yeah, that's not the leader one. The leader one's the one from the woods.
No one said it was the leader one.
We didn't say it's the leader.
Then we're all saying the same thing.
So shut the fuck up.
Quick
God
correcting
damn. That's not what you said at first.
Don't get excused from ever talking about the fucking movie again.
My God.
They trap the fan with the hula hoop, and they all get out this one tiny little ventilation hole. And
we already did this. Move on.
Yi wants to get his hoop. He can't. He has to like watch as it gets.
He
destroyed.
can, but then he gets it later.
But he gets it somehow.
Finds it again.
Yeah, and then something else happens.
Well, this is after this. This is when they find out. No, this is when they storm the city, the Life Spring, and we get the sick as fuck Splinter versus Shredder fight.
Yeah.
He's not really Shredder. That's the one thing that they didn't do.
He's
awesome.
Cool,
I love him,
Shredder.
but he's not.
Like, I'm a big fan. He's super funny 80s 90s villain.
One of the most stereotypical, probably.
Yeah,
he reminds me a lot of. Reminds me a lot of the bad guy from Flash Gordon. Like, Dan, you mentioned Flash Gordon when we were watching this, and maybe it's like the makeup, but it reminds me a lot of that. And the overacting and everything.
Right. That's the big thing, is the overacting.
The overacting. Like, he'll just say hello, and he'll like yell it to the back of the seat.
Hello!
But him and Splinter have a fight, and there's a lot of wire works and a lot of really cracked stunts where
it's all very fun.
It's very fast moving, and which I really liked. Because you compare, I'm going to keep comparing this movie to Turtles 2 because it makes me like this movie a bit more. And like Turtles 2,
admittedly, not a fair comparison.
No, not at all. But Turtles 2, like the stunts are all so slow. They all look like guys in giant rubber suits that can't move because they are.
Turtles 2 is the only of the 90s Turtles movies where that is the case, where they don't look good and the actors don't move well in the suits. But this one is not that way.
No, they're very fast. All the punches and kicks have like a nice weight to them.
Yeah.
And you'll punch a guy and he'll go flying to the other side.
Yeah,
right.
The stunts in this feel more comparable to the first and last of the 90s Turtles movies than used stunts do.
Specifically 3, because 3 had some excellent stunt work.
Yeah. During this whole thing, Ryan's just watching this fight, and Splinter's trying to get him to run. He's trying to get him to escape.
Splinter?
But eventually...
We're still at the Splinter fight. I thought we were at the end fight already.
No. Eventually, Komodo slices him in half with like a super sick... Like, he doesn't actually get him with a sword, but he does the movement, and the sword just cuts through the whole set.
Obi-Wan Kenobi's him.
Star Wars ripoff.
Yeah.
Turtles comparison bumps us up to 8.
Right, yeah.
But Splinter gets sliced in half, and Komodo ultimately kidnaps Ryan, and the town gets overtaken. Everyone gets taken prisoner, and the Roos have to hide and take off.
Can't call them that. That's their word.
So that they can find each other in peace. Then while Ryan is finally kidnapped, Komodo is trying to win him over, and he's like, "Hey, if you read from this book, I'll make your leg work permanently forever for life." And so Ryan decides to take a look at the book, and it's completely empty. This is where Kung Fu Panda got its inspiration from. And
but Josh, he can't read the book because he was going to do it for evil. He had to read the book for good. He had to do it for good, Josh.
Yeah, this is also when Komodo's just like, okay, if you can't read the book,
for virtue.
Yeah, he says that. He's like, if you can't read this book, you're useless to me. And then he tries to kill him.
I'm going to kill you. Which is when the princess steps up and is like, hey, I'm not that bad a guy. And she stops him.
She shoots her rope at him.
I thought it was her dress. Like,
it was like her scarf or something. It was
but she has superpowers.
Right. She has very ill-defined superpowers, which stop Komodo from killing Ryan.
I think it was like a magic thing. She was a magic witch. Right. They called her.
But when she does this, she gets stabbed in the back by one of Komodo's henchmen, and ultimately dies. This character who did absolutely nothing.
Yeah, I was about to say, too bad I don't care about her at all.
Not one bit. Like, it didn't establish her character. I guess it gave her the smallest possible arc. But it was nothing.
It was like the bare minimum.
It was a scene where she's good, a scene where she's bad, a scene where she's good,
bad, again, and then good again.
Yeah,
right.
And then she dies.
It's literally just like someone went, "Hey, why don't you have this character in the movie? and they just added like the very, very minimum so that they.
And she was in love with a kid.
I don't know. I think that was us joking and taking it.
Right. She had like a brotherly love because she said he reminded her of her brother.
Yeah.
Like it was a familial love, not a creepy romantic
I
love.
think it was creepy and romantic.
This isn't this is no Neon Genesis.
Average Genshin Impact conversation.
Anyways.
So Ryan uses this time and he escapes. There's a giant rhino and a water buffalo that we haven't even talked about.
Yeah, they were cool. They looked like the only Disney other era Star Wars animatronic.
Yeah,
right.
They're great.
And they happen to be like in this castle that Ryan's in because they've been imprisoned, and he yells out their names. One of them is like
arrested or something.
One of them's like Willy Rock, something like that. It had Willy in the name, so I remember.
Willy Rock and Bimbalor.
Yeah, it's William and Buffalo.
Right. Bebop.
They like literally throw themselves at the guards to knock them down so Ryan can escape. Toka and Razor. Ryan gets back to the village where the not the turtles, the kangaroos are. They're mourning the death of Splinter.
The kangaroos.
Yeah.
And he's like, he has a conversation with them. He's like, "Hey guys, I really messed up. You know, I can't read. Help me." And they go, "Okay, we're gonna end this fight." So they call Komodo. No, they confront Komodo because he's just sitting in their village now. And they step up and they're like, "Hey, we're ready to defeat you." This is when Komodo clones himself.
I forgot about that.
The funny
when the quality of the film drops like to like 8mm for a second. And then he just clones himself, and then they all just defeat him instantly. Like it did not matter that he cloned himself. I get they were trying to make the ending fight like more exciting.
Something happened where both him and Kid disappeared. Him and Ryan disappeared. Him and Ryan Gosling disappeared.
Did he disappear, or was it just Ryan?
No, I think him and all his clones disappeared. That's why.
So him and his clones had a fight with the kangaroos, and it's a really well done fight. You know, there's a lot of really cool stunts. Again, a lot of cool wire work, a lot of cool stunts. It looked visually very good. And then they figure out earlier when he sliced the dude in half, he like used up some of his power, and so he got a bit weaker for a while because he was like on the ground crawling. And they realize like if they can do that again, they might be able to defeat him. So I think that's when Ryan does read from the book, so that he gives him more power.
Ryan does read from the book.
Oh yeah, he reads from the book. Then at some point he tears it up, but he keeps one page and crumples it up so that he can get home or something.
Yeah, and it basically it mortally wounds Ryan, and it overloads Komodo. So they manage to defeat Komodo, and like they cheer until all of Komodo's men march on the town and are about to kill them. But Komodo's fine. He just has like amnesia and he doesn't remember who he is anymore.
Right. And
the
Rue, whichever one of the Rues it was, is just like, "Stop fighting, friends. Let's be buddies." And then they're like, "Okay, let's be buddies." And that's when when Komodo just walks out and he's got
because it was the guy that set up that he had a good heart earlier because Splinter poked him with the stick and made him paralyzed.
He was like, "Hey,
you're a good guy. You just
or something."
This is when the movie kind of gets a bit weird because Ryan is dying on the ground, and then
this is when it gets weird.
This is when it gets a bit weird.
I think
Ryan is dying on the ground, and all the kangaroos come around him, and the silent one who he developed a handshake with earlier gives him a little handshake, and says to him the first words in his movie, and he was like, "Thank you, Ryan." Then Ryan like disintegrates, kind of like, you know, becomes a load of glitter and stars and stuff.
Yeah.
And then we cut back to him in the sewer on the pipe above the vortex.
Before the scene before he fell in.
When he first fell in him the spray paint can.
Yeah. He hadn't the pipe hadn't come through yet.
He hadn't fallen in yet, which creates a paradox in that it had to have been a dream or it wouldn't be possible, because now if he doesn't fall in, nothing ever happened.
No.
Because now he's in the past. It creates a time loop.
It's a different dimension.
No, it's a different universe.
It doesn't matter. The way to get to that universe is through the pipe.
You have Back to the Future too, dude. The universe never stops existing.
No, but it makes sense that in the magic of the other universe, it takes him back to just before he fell into the universe.
It's magic, man.
It's so clearly supposed to be a dream. It's classic 90s kids movie. They all end in dreams.
No, because they all end in it could have been a dream, but it's real.
Right.
No.
It's like you were saying at the beginning. It could have been like, oh, he's dying and dealing with his mortality, like all of them. But it's
no, it's not even that. He just made it up. It was just his overexciting imagination.
It's like Peter Pan. It's like Peter Pan.
He's just magical, and he's got the kung ru in him.
No. Exactly. Yeah. No,
he's got that dog.
It's totally a dream. All right, if you're listening at home, watch this movie and comment whether or not you think it's a dream.
But it's before
it's streaming on Tubi. Everybody check out Tubi. This episode is sponsored by Tubi.
This video is sponsored by Tubi, and
we are, for legal reasons, we are not sponsored by Tubi.
Who made this Silent Night, Deadly Night 2 sweater?
Amazon.
Yeah, no, I don't want to say we're sponsored by Amazon.
For legal reasons, we are also not sponsored by Tubi.
No, we're sponsored by Tubi. Tubi sponsors this episode.
Yeah. For legal reasons, we are not sponsored by Tubi.
Yeah, but this episode is sponsored by Tubi.
I don't think it's. I don't think there's anything legally.
I do not want to take that risk.
This episode is brought to you by Tubi.
Yeah,
that part is true because
Tubi has made this episode possible. We'll say that.
Yeah, this episode was made possible by Tubi
and viewers like you. Thank you,
and viewers like you.
But before Ryan,
and
makes his choice, back to the movie we don't care about. Before Ryan makes his choice, his friend Chucky says, and I quote, "Why don't you make like Tom and Cruise?"
Yeah. They say that twice.
Yeah,
he says that before, and then he doesn't listen to him, and he goes through the portal, and then he says it again at the end, which is how you know it's before.
It's a dream.
It's not a dream, because how would he know his friend's going to say that?
Well, he didn't know his friend was going to say that, to be fair. We just knew that. He just reacted differently.
Right.
But yeah,
I choose to believe...
this time, he learns that his actions do not need to be defined by the people who bully him.
Right. And he learns a moral lesson in his brain.
Yeah, and also it wasn't a dream.
And he walks off, and then he leaves his bully to be stranded and starved to death because the pipe bursts and it leaves him stuck on the other side of this giant vortex.
The pipe will shut off.
I don't think that's what was going to happen.
Although I do think the pipe broke.
The pipe broke.
Yeah, it like snapped in half. How does that not happen every time?
Right.
It's just because I don't know.
No, it's because his weight on there changed the balance.
It's because of magic.
No, it's
because of magic.
It was this movie's a dream.
It was the ruse. It was the ruse. They broke
that part wasn't a dream. Yeah, it was the Kung ruse. It's magic, actually.
Cool.
But yeah, Ryan heads home, and he realizes that he shouldn't be appeasing to bullies. Yeah. He tells his mom he loves her, and then he tells his dog about this lovely place called Tao that he went to because it wasn't a dream and it was real.
Totally a dream, without a doubt.
It was not a dream.
If it was a dream, he wouldn't. How would he know about Tao? Because Ming.
And also.
Yeah, it was a dream.
The whole.
What do you mean? How would he know? He knew because he was in the dream.
No, because he remembered the Tom Cruise thing, and he remembered.
And he didn't remember the Tom Cruise thing.
No, but how would he be able to predict if it was a dream?
Because that was in the movie.
Because his friend's always saying stupid stuff.
Nah, but how would he know that specific one? No way he says it that often. I don't believe it.
If you have a bar let's make like Tom and Cruise, you are saying that every single time you're leaving.
What about the pipe, man?
What about the pipe?
What about
how would he know it's going to break?
He didn't know it was going to break. It didn't break with him. He fell off when he got hit with the water.
Yep. No, the pipe watering. I mean.
Yeah, because he saw a giant pipe there.
Nah. But it did water. It pooped.
Yeah,
it dumped.
As it probably does regularly because it's a sewer
but
pipe.
Know that. But he wouldn't know that. He's a dumb kid. He can't even walk.
Okay, so this is kind of unrelated. But what do you think the budget for this movie was?
I'm gonna say it was pretty high.
No, I remember we looked. I feel like I remember we looked it up.
I remember the budget being high and it made no money.
30 million. I feel like it was like 30 million and it made like 3 million.
Okay.
I feel like I remember it.
I don't remember exact numbers. I think the budget was high and this movie did not make much money at all.
You were both somewhat correct. The budget was 35 million.
All right, I'm crediting myself for the correct on that one.
And it made 6 million.
Yeah, that was
close enough. Yeah.
I just like to say the first line on this page is the film was a critical and commercial failure.
Yeah.
And so as we're kind of wrapping this up, I see
loved it, though.
Why. Like I can completely see.
No, I fully understand why.
This is a movie we like because we like this stuff. This movie's not very good. This movie is stupid. It is slow in parts. Dumb. It's. I can see why this movie didn't catch on.
Absolutely, yeah.
Will I ever watch this again?
Basically, just no,
never.
We will, however, be watching the sequel for it.
I do kind of want to watch the second one. Yeah,
we probably will. Somewhere down the line, that's gonna happen.
Yeah, when we do sequel sweep.
Yeah. Right. Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, as a if you like bad movies and you like the Ninja Turtles and you want to watch a fun little Turtles knockoff that's not actually a Turtles knockoff at all.
If you like fun fantasy movies and you like
Power Rangers.
If you like Power Rangers or old,
if you like the 90s Mortal Kombat movies.
Ninja movies, yeah.
But without the CGI. This is what you should watch. But no, I can't say I'd recommend this to anyone.
No. I'd recommend it to myself.
Would you?
Yeah.
You would watch this again?
No, I wouldn't. I wouldn't take that recommendation. I would recommend it to myself. Yeah.
It's okay. There's a lot of there's a lot of good stunts. The kangaroos look fantastic in a terrifying way. Like they look realistic.
Admittedly, they do look great.
Yeah, they look fantastic, but they look too good.
They look creepy, uncanny valley type.
They look so realistic that it's kind of creepy.
It would be great to be repurposed into horror movie villain character creatures.
Right, just like Josh scrolling in the bottom video of this.
Correct. Yes. Yeah. Much like our good friend Joshua Clements, aka the Joker, baby.
But yeah, another weird thing is like, I know we just broke down the plot, but and as it's clear from our breakdown of the plot, I also just don't remember a ton from this. The characterization of the Kung Fu kangaroos is sticks out especially. I don't remember their names at all. Like they're not characterized super differently. It's just kind of
they're trying to be like heroic.
Yeah, they try and make one of them Mikey by making him funny once and having
he's funny once, and they say he's a goofball at the beginning.
Yeah,
but it's like
they have the thing with the fire, but they don't actually do anything with it.
No, and so they're all the same. All of the good guys except for Ryan are exactly the same, and all of the bad guys except for the main bad guy are exactly the same. And so it's just like there's this overwhelming sense of boringness kind of throughout the whole thing because every character is the exact same person, which that kind of stinks. Yeah. It spends a little too much time in the real world at the beginning.
This movie has the opposite problem.
It's not even that it spends too much time in the real world; it's that none of the stuff in the real world contributed or had any payoff.
I said to you guys earlier, like during the real world stuff, I wonder how much of it's going to be like the bully is the bad guy in the Fantasyland, but like Shark Boy and Lava Girl, where everyone's just like an evil, over the top version of themselves in this Fantasyland. But that wasn't the case at all. They literally do not exist for any reason.
No, but the bully got kind of wet at the end.
It has the opposite problem that the Turtle sequels have, where the Turtle sequels, everyone became Mikey. In this movie, they all became too heroic.
They all became Leo. Which is the worst character if you're all going to be the same character.
Right, yeah.
Nobody wants a movie just about Leo. That's why TMNT sucks.
They're all just there we have to save the day. We have to distribute justice and virtue. And then that's it. There's no funny quips. There's no like I said, there's no individuality to any of them.
Right.
Which is really important to a movie like this, I think.
All right, we got to wrap it up though. But I do agree. This movie's not very good. I wouldn't recommend it to anybody. It kind of, but if you do like bad movies, actually, I would recommend it to you. So watch that. And if you like the Turtles and you want to watch a movie about the Turtles, next week we begin our new sweep, TMNT sweep. So Scooby-Doo sweep. Scooby-Doo sweep. We will see you next week on the very next episode of Semi Pro.